What's going on? It's RiceI123 here with another episode of First Impressions, Final Thoughts. Today we are here with Black Myth Wukong. I'm a bit late on the bandwagon with this one, but uh, but it's pretty good in my opinion. I'm going to keep this video rather short just because I've been suffering from a cold within the past few days, and I kind of want to keep my voice speaking at an absolute minimal. Um, so yeah, stick around for this video, and I'll go over what I think's good about the game, what I think's bad about the game, and just so you know, all of this is going to be personal opinion. It might be that you don't like the game, but I'm someone that's been playing games for many years, and I like to think that I've played enough stuff out there to give a good judgment as to how the game fares. Okay, so for those of you that may not be aware, this game is based off the ancient, I think, Chinese tale Journey to the West. I'm not familiar with that. If you are, you might know kind of what to expect going into this. I don't know how accurate the game is in comparison to the book. But yeah, in terms of story, it's based off an old novel. I'm going to start with what I think really works well in the game. And the first thing I want to cover is the actual gameplay. The actual gameplay, it feels good. It feels very crisp. For those of you looking for, I guess, kind of like a Souls-like kind of game, this is similar. It's not quite it. It's more, I guess, action RPG, but it does have the same kind of integrity, I guess, as a Soulsborne game, right? You find areas which act as rest points. You can travel between them. If you die, you go back to your rest point, and enemies in front of you respawn. Apart from obviously bosses you've already defeated, right? So that's fine. That plays like a Souls game. Where it doesn't necessarily play like a Souls game is in the combat. You have an attack button, you have a heavy attack, and you have a bunch of abilities that you unlock as the game goes on. The one that the game throws at you very early is an ability to immobilize your opponents to make them freeze. I guess just as they are, whether it's mid attack, whether it's as they're like, I guess, kind of gathering their strength, if you like. Um, so that's where the God of War kind of action RPG aspect plays into it. So it's kind of a blend of both. In my last video, I said Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn was probably a blend of both, but I think this is more accurate um, as to how a Soulsborne game blends with an RPG or an action RPG like this. The power of heavy attacks is also drawing off its own unique system called focus or focus points. By attacking enemies, you kind of gain up a focus bar, and then you can almost bank a focus point. And when you do a heavy attack, the more focus points you have charged, the more you then have to use to, I guess, enhance the power of your heavy attack. Which it's fun. It's not groundbreaking gameplay, but it's fun. And some heavy attacks allow you to immediately charge your focus points to then drain it immediately. It's kind of weird, but it works. It's not special. It's not, it's not groundbreaking. It's not, it doesn't take away from the game. It's just, it is what it is. One other thing, and this is a major thing going into a game like this, is boss battles, right? I know that this game has at least, I think, 81 bosses, and the ones that I've come across so far all play pretty differently, like completely differently. This throws boss battles at you. You can do what you think is a main boss, and then suddenly you realize that's the warm up for a main boss, right? Um, they're really cool. Some bosses you'll have to come back to later because they're just really hard for this point in the game. Um, and they're done really well. There's a really large amount. All of them are very unique, at least the ones that I've come across so far, anyway. Um, and yeah, they're just fantastic. Uh, as with all games, like nowadays, they all come with skill trees, right? In one way or another. This one is quite a large skill tree, I will be honest. However, you earn skill points really easily. I've only completed chapter 1 of 6 and I'm like level 25. Um, and they come in the form of sparks, not skill points or anything, they're called sparks. And most of these skills are, they're pretty decent. A lot of them are passive abilities, which, okay, I don't all like that much. But some of them you can use to get new abilities. Some of them you can even spend on stances, which stances I don't really know if they have a massive effect other than changing your heavy ability. But each stance comes with its own set of skills to then build upon. So there is that, I guess. But stances don't seem quite as groundbreaking. compared to games like Ghost of Tsushima or. There is another kind of groundbreaking ability in this game, something that defines the game for me, and that is transformations. Right, transformations are absolutely brilliant. When you defeat a boss, uh, a large proportion of them kind of drop their essence, and you can absorb their essence. Right now, in the game, you get given like an ultimate ability to use, and you can choose what that ultimate ability is. And the ultimate ability can be basically a move from any of the previous bosses that you've defeated and collected essence off of, which is fantastic. You basically turn into that boss, use their ability, and then transform back. Also, I said earlier, there's like abilities like the immobilized ability that you get early on. One of them that you get early on is also a transformation ability where you become the boss you defeated, and just start using this skill set, which is absolutely brilliant. And instead of just like using a weapon, like in Souls games, like a weapon or an armor set, you can just become the boss, and it completely changes up your skill set and really just kind of defines the game. The last kind of little thing that I guess is kind of like a gameplay thing, which I'm kind of it works nicely. It's not groundbreaking. It's not amazing, but it's a good thing in my mind. Is the gourd system and the healing system. You get given a gourd, and you can upgrade obviously the amount of sips you get from your gourd. I think you start off with about 4, and that's the amount of times you can heal. Um, but then you can also change the type of liquid that is in your gourd. Um, and it kind of changes the way that your character heals. You start off with, I think it's like coconut milk or something like that. I can't remember. And then you can unlock a different kind of liquid, and it changes the way your character heals. So you heal like 25% of your HP, and then you increase another 25% of your HP over a longer period of time. Or I think the coconut one just instantaneously recovers 33% of your health, which that's really cool. That's another aspect and another customizability option, um, which I didn't know we would have, but I'm happy it's there. Um, and that's one thing this game does well. It starts you off quite bare bones and very quickly just builds you up with all these new kind of abilities, these new kind of features, to the point where it's a very fleshed out and very well playing game. Art style is very good. The graphics are amazing. There's a lot of different environments. I've played the first chapter. I've just started chapter 2, and what it looks like is each chapter is going to have a different biome for you to play in, which I'm all for. It keeps the game looking fresh, and it keeps it looking, I guess, very very polished across different types of backgrounds. Right, the graphics are great. The frame rate drops every now and then. I'm hoping that kind of gets fixed in the near future. But enemies look amazing. When you use abilities, they also look pretty cool. On the whole, the art direction and the way the game plays is a thumbs up from me. This is one really, really, really small, I guess, nitpick, and that is the motion capture or the facial motion capture. In the intro sequence, there's like a massive epic fight. Your character says stuff, and whoever they're fighting says stuff back to you. Um, and whatever they're saying, their mouths don't look like they're saying it. It feels like it's actually recorded over. Um, and that could have been a lot better. I know it's very small, and a lot of people probably don't necessarily recognize it, but it's something that was really annoying me in like that first epic fight when I heard my character speak, and it looks like he was saying absolutely none of the words that were coming out of his mouth. Oh, it was fine. It was I could deal with it, but it just it kind of annoyed me a little bit. Okay, so on the whole, Black Myth Wukong is a really fun, interactive RPG blended with a Souls-like game. The amount of bosses and the amount of enemies keeps things exciting. The exploration is incredibly adventurous and thrilling to partake in. And overall, I had a lot of fun on this game. It so far gets a 9 out of 10 out of me. We'll see how that changes in the final thoughts video once I finish the game. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Ryside123, and I'll catch you in the next one.